Babe, I am sorry to, and I'm going to hold your hands while I say this. What would I do if I got 5 million now? Right now, 5 million. What would you do if you liked a married man? Leave the married man alone. What would you do if you were the last person on earth? I would just dance naked. What would you do if you found out your dad is cheating on your mom and using all money with the other woman? What would I do if I found out I was infertile? Ooh. What would I do if I found out that the guy I've been dating for 1 year was married before? Wangui, what would you do if you were in a relationship with a guy saying he's going through stuff? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back. Welcome to today's video. The creative juices have decided no vlog this week, but you know what, we were gonna show up. And today I have a really entertaining, kind of exciting and also educative sort of video. We are going to be talking about what I would do. So I asked my buns over on Instagram what they would do if, and they submitted their entries, so we're gonna read all of them, hopefully all of them, and then I will give you my perspective or my opinion or my point of view regarding all those things. So I've fetched the stories from Instagram, and ooh, they are quite a lot. Ooh, guys, but I love it when you engage with me on Instagram. Honestly, it feels like a tiny little community of girls, and the DMs are always fire. So if you haven't followed me, make sure you follow me. Oh, and guys, I am taking TikTok seriously. I want to do a lot more self-care over there and talking clips, shorts, videos. I want to really give it a chance. I wasn't going to do it this year, but I feel like I need to move with the time. Like, I can't just rely on Instagram and YouTube to build my community. Again, within the week, I feel like it's a good place where we can connect and we can share more. I have so many ideas on self-care videos I would love to do over there, and I realized on Instagram my reels don't do so well. I feel like people on Instagram love my pictures and my aesthetic, so it's sort of kind of curated, and you know what, you give people what they like to see. So yes, I still do some reels over there, but it feels like I need to have a way to be more creative and to share a lot more information, and I feel like TikTok could be the place for that, as well as YouTube. So I really want to add on to the content I've been doing here and also add on to TikTok. So I'm going to leave a link to my TikTok. Go follow me. And actually, I am starting with a challenge. I am putting it out there so that I can be consistent. I want to do this glow up challenge. Not challenge really, it's a challenge I've put up for myself, but this year my word of the year is glow up, and I really want to do it, like really do it. So I want to start on there. It's not like I haven't been glowing up. We already know I've been glowing up for like the last 2 years, but like I want to take it seriously. So we'll do things with fitness and physical appearance, makeup, skincare, food, mental health, emotional health, social health, all those things. And I want to like have short videos on that. So make sure you follow me on TikTok. I'm going to leave my tag here as usual. It's Wangui Gathogo, just like Instagram, but check the link in the description box to go and follow me. Yeah, so, and there are videos already there, so go guys, follow me so that we can start this kind of journey together. And my Instagram has reset, so I might have to get that again here. Got it. I'm not going to mention names because again I wanted to keep it anonymous and for my followers privacy, because some of these things here, guys, are really tough, and I'm imagining they're asking that because there are probably things they are going through, right? Yeah. Wangui, what would you do if you got a corporate job, 6-figure, medical insurance for your whole family, but no rest days? I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take it, not because I don't need the money. I do need the money, but I have redefined what success looks like to me, and as much as money is part of it, not at the expense of my emotional, mental, physical health and the wellness of my family, really. So I wouldn't take such a job. As you all know, I worked 1 year and I was done with it. It doesn't mean I would never go back to it, but it has to really make sense. It has to be very flexible for me, because I want to have free time. I want to have freedom of time, freedom of location. I also want to be in sync with my body as a woman, because I wasn't made to work like men 10 times a week. No, I want to be in balance, create a balanced life. So for that, I would have to not take it. Yeah, especially because she says no rest days. Rest days, guys, we can't. I just can't survive without rest days. So I'm out. What would I do if someone asked me to be their friend? Would I be open for a girl date soon? I think I would say yes and no. I would be open to it, but only if we've had sort of like a connection, maybe in the DMs, or like you've been interacting with my content. I sort of like, you're vulnerable with me, and you know, I sort of feel like we need to have a tiny connection. I can give like maybe an example. Me and Koi Karanja met on Instagram. She was my follower and she engaged with my content. She would comment on videos. She would text me in the DM. We would start talking, and she was vulnerable with me when she was starting like her content creation journey. She would come ask me questions. So she sort of became like an Instagram bestie before we decided to go on a date. So we already had some chemistry before we decided to make it something. So yeah, so for me, yes, if we have like a connection going online and our energies feel right, our auras match to some extent. And no, because I just can't meet you like that, and I don't know you, and I don't know your story, and I don't know why you want to be my friend, you know. Yeah. The other one, Wangui, what would you do if you are in a relationship with a guy saying he's going through stuff and asked for a break? Guys, hey. Going through stuff, if you're going through stuff, you know what you do? You take time for yourself to heal the stuff and to figure out your life and to deal with the things that you want to deal with. That doesn't mean you don't deserve love and you're not worthy of love. All of us are. By just existing, all of us are worthy of love. But the fact that this man would be asking for a break because they are going through stuff means they want a perfect life with you, which doesn't exist. So in what world will you never go through stuff? Because I imagine, you know, life just throws things at us anytime. So if you started the relationship healthy and from nowhere he's suddenly going through stuff, honestly girl, he doesn't like you and he's just looking for a way to let you go. Because I imagine if you're going through stuff, you want your closest people close to you. Like you want to lean on your loved ones, you want the support of your loved ones, you want them to be there for you. So if you're doing away with me, then it means you don't even see me as part of someone that can come through for you in times of need, right? Yeah, so cut it. Let him take his break and take his break forever, okay? Thanks. Wangui, what would you do if you were struggling with self-sabotage? Now this is a gun shooting at me because this is one of my struggles. I do struggle with self-sabotage because I don't even have a reason, honestly guys. I think it's just conditioning and a trauma response for me. I do tend to sabotage some things. I overthink a lot, so sometimes I'll give meaning to things that honestly don't even have meaning, and that ends up not with me not actualizing things that I want to do. An example of self-sabotage is I will say I want to do something for my business or for my content. I will wake up and say, today I have to create a video for TikTok. Looks simple, right? It's like, sit, you have the idea, put your phone there, start recording, edit, post, right? It looks very easy, but for me, I will find reasons. I will find reasons as to why this video cannot be done today. I will wake up and be like, I'm not feeling energetic, I have to do my makeup, my hair is not done, like that was an excuse for me not to film today. So I'll find a reason to not do it, not because I can't do it, but because I just have a limiting belief around the whole process. It's either I don't look so good, it's either I don't feel too good, it's either I don't know what I am saying, it's either I am not creative enough. But I have been working through letting go of that fear by not being perfect. I just create a video whether I am in and out of frame. As long as people could see me and they understood the content, I am just pushing it out. And this is one of the reasons why I've been keeping off TikTok, because TikTok is a very vulnerable place. And for me, I'm like, hey, the people on there, the audience on there is quite, how do we say, they are not as forgiving. So I fear them judging me, you know, a lot more than I would be able to handle. But it's just a fear, I just need to beat it. So yeah, what would I do if I was struggling with self-sabotage? I would definitely affirm myself that I am enough, that I am worthy of these good things, and I am deserving of beautiful experiences. I would also practice without focusing on perfection. I would just pay attention to showing up and making progress, other than being perfect and being, you know, clear on everything. And I would focus on the one step ahead of me instead of the whole staircase. So yeah, so that's what I would do to deal with self-sabotage. Also, I would say exposure therapy, which is sort of like putting yourself in situations that would force you to work on those limiting beliefs and all those overthinking tendencies that you have. Yeah, so I'm in the process of doing that. I am letting go of self-sabotage, honestly, imposter syndrome. I want to stop being the person that is in my own way. I have managed to put everyone out of my way, but why am I the one in my own way? Yeah, and honestly, people don't even think about me as much as I think they do. So let me just show up and live my life and stop fearing being seen, right? Yeah, that was a TED Talk for all of us. Wangui, what would you do if you wanted to quit a game whose competition is in 1 week time? If I wanted to quit, I would question why. I would question why I want to quit. I would sit down and think of what is surrounding that fear that I have for this competition. Is it that I fear failing? Is it that I fear being seen? Is it that I fear disappointing someone? Like, there's just some fear attached to it, and I would try to figure out what that is, and then I would sit in those emotions so that I can familiarize myself with how that fear feels like, and then I would address it. I would do lots of affirmations surrounding that. If it's like a fear I have, I would shut down all those negative thoughts and replace them with positive affirmations. I would basically just pay attention to showing up, just showing up, and then letting things just be. Because sometimes, you know, you're overthinking, you're thinking of how this thing will end and you haven't even gotten there. Sometimes you just need to be there, and then the next step will bring itself, and then things will just align. So I would pay attention to just being grounded with positive affirmations and shunning the negative thoughts that I have coming up regarding this competition. What would I do if I found out that the guy I've been dating for 1 year was married before, has kids, and has been silent about it? This honestly for me would be a deal breaker, because tell me why you had a whole relationship with kids, not even a kid, with kids, and you met me and you dated me as the bachelor you are not. I think for me this would be a deal breaker. Honestly, I know for sure it's not easy to even break off something like this with someone because you knew them differently, but I think the one thing I have come to learn is that we need to just see people as who they are and just let them be that. Let me tell you, this book by Mel Robbins, I was already into the let them thing and detachment, and it was strong. The game has been strong, but since listening to her book, I've been listening to it on Audible, I have just come to learn that we carry so much stress and so much anxiety for things that we don't even need to do that for things that we don't even have control over. This whole point of this man being this bad person, he's basically a bad person, because how would you hide kids? How would you not talk about a marriage that you had? I feel like I would just let it go. I would let it go, and I know it's gonna be hard. I would just take on the journey of healing and building back my trust in people, because after this, of course, you're gonna have trust issues, but I would just see him as who he is. He can't change. He can't not be married before. He can't not have kids before. He's already that. And again, it depends with what you think of him. If you think of him as a good partner, well, how could he even be a good partner? I don't even think that's even viable. But if you think of maybe wanting to forgive him, then I think you need to have like a very honest conversation around that. You might need therapy together, separately, I don't know. But I feel like for me, because you asked me what I would do, I would just let it go and see him as who he is, genuinely. Wangui, what would you do if you turned 40 before you meet your love? Continue living. I would just continue living. I think the whole marriage and finding the love of your life is so romanticized, and rightfully so. It's a beautiful thing. I know for sure. I've lived with parents who've been together for now almost 35 years, and I see the beauty in it. But the thing is, I have no control over it. I can show up for dates, I can, improve myself, I can do all that, but that's as much as I can do. I have no control of when I will meet the love of my life, of when I will get married, of who I will get married to. So if I get to 40 and I don't have that, I will just continue living. I am conscious about creating a balanced life for myself, whether there's a man or there is not. So I feel like it's not something that I would really be bummed about. I think it's life, and that would mean my life at 40 is a single woman, basically that. Wangui, what would you do? Wangui, what would you do if I was a nurse? Really, guys? You guys know I went to KMTC and I did public health, so I have seen how nursing looks like, and honestly, I wouldn't survive. In fact, by like term one, was it terms? By like semester one, I would be out. Nursing is, I think, one of the most grueling careers we have. It demands so much of your heart and your soul, and for sure, I know for a fact that cannot be me. I am 100% too empathetic. I would probably just cry every day from like seeing sick babies and their sick mothers, and someone is delivering and then the other one is dying. I don't think I would be able to handle that. And I remember when I was applying to go to KMTC, that was my thought, that was my thinking. I was like, yeah, I want to be a nurse. When I was applying, my brother was already in KMTC. He's like in the curative side of medicine, and he was like, hey, baby sister, I don't think nursing will be good for you. So we chose not to go with nursing, and I did public health, which again was not my thing. It was not, I was not made for the medical field. I am way too empathetic, and I am too soft. I think it would break me, or I don't know how I would have survived. But you guys saw I didn't even survive a year of employment in the medical field, so I don't think I would be good with that. So Wangui, what would you do if you got broke? If I got broke, I would pack my bags and go home. Luckily, and I'm so grateful that I have a place I know I can go back to today, tomorrow, next year. I would just go back home, honestly. If I got broke, I would just go back home, and I would accept that as my new reality, and I would start working towards rebuilding myself. basically. But one thing I wouldn't do, I wouldn't live a lie. I wouldn't stay here and have debt in rent and have no food and die from depression and just have a fake life that looks perfect. Yeah, I would sell my car, sell my valuable things, maybe have some money on the side, start a business. Probably, I think I would probably sell the car, then start a business with the money from the car, and then rebuild myself slowly. And if all goes wrong and everything becomes bad, I'll just pack my bags and go back home. That's it, and then start again. God forbid that never happens and I am able to sustain myself and I keep growing. Amen. Amen. What would I do if no one married me? Nothing. Basically nothing. Guys, let me tell you something. I'm quite detached from the whole idea of marriage and finding the love of your life. I am more focused on living a balanced life, honestly, like waking up in peace and sleeping very well, eating healthy, having friends, having a good relationship with family, enjoying what you do, impacting other people, being a happy person, being my authentic self. Yeah, so my idea of a beautiful life is having a balance of everything and having fulfilling aspects of your life, right? Like having a good relationship with your family, having a good relationship with your friends, having a good relationship with yourself, having work that you love, you know, a life that you love, that you've built for yourself. And then marriage is one of those aspects. So if no one marries me, then I will feed into all these other aspects. Yeah, and I would be okay. I guess I would be okay, but it's definitely something I desire. But I'm not like I will die if no one marries me. No, I will be perfectly fine. What would I do if I found out I was infertile? Ooh, I've never really thought about that, but I think I would seek help. If it was something difficult to navigate mentally, I would seek maybe help from a therapist, a counselor. Obviously, I would, you know, try and find solutions if, you know, like there are any interventions. But ultimately, I would, as difficult as it would be, I would accept and probably maybe adopt a child and raise the child. Yeah, I've never really thought about what feelings I could get from that, but I would try to seek help and I would try to have a positive outlook on it. And if nothing can't be done, then, and I desire a child in that moment, then I would adopt a child. Yeah. What would I do if I had a year to live? Just 1 year. I would just 1 year to live. I would tell everyone I love that I love them, and I would show them and do that like in action, like spend time with them, spoil them, you know, see them. I would also probably travel, I think. Yeah, I think I would travel. I would sell things and then travel. I would sell my things and travel to see the world. I would leave some impact of sorts, leave something for my legacy, like maybe a foundation, or like maybe a children's home, a support something, just something that would keep my name lingering in people's minds, you know. Yeah, I think that's what I would do. A year is not much to do much, but like, yeah, that's what I would do. What would I do if I felt my friends are excelling and it's like I am lagging behind career-wise? I would stop comparing myself with my friends, because we all have different journeys. Even siblings brought up in the same house, leave alone siblings, even twins that have the same genetic build-up have their own journeys. So I would say I would first seek help to stop comparing myself. I would affirm myself of my own journey. I would stop looking at their level of achievement as a benchmark for mine, and I would seriously just take my own journey. I know it's really hard, and sometimes you feel like, oh, that should be me, oh, I should be there, oh, I should be part of this, and by now I should be here. But sometimes, not even sometimes, most times, we all have our own journeys, and as much as you see their thriving careers, you don't know the sacrifices they're having to make. So just take on your journey and be present with it, and do the work that you need to do to get there. And if you can't, then be content with it. I think it's just one of those things where you have to accept and then do your best. That's it. Everything else is out of your control. I had to change my battery. Today things are just So what would I do if I had to support my mom and 3 siblings? I think I would be clear on how much I can do and how much I can't, and then communicate with them and express myself clearly on the things that I can take on and the things that I can't, and then be strict about it and have consequences for it. With boundaries, you need to have consequences, otherwise people will just step on you. I understand things to do with black tax and taking care of family is not something we always want to do. Sometimes we are just forced to do it because we are probably the only hope those people have. But I think it's important to have some sort of boundaries around how much you can do and how much you can't, and communicate that. Don't just assume that they will know. You need to communicate that and be clear and repeat as often as you need to until they get it. But another thing I would say, if you really have to take care of them, I think that would mean having to work extra to be able to support yourself and support the family. So probably start a side hustle, probably get an online job, probably try. So improve yourself, learn a skill just to make some extra money so that you're able to also grow. The whole point is to love on them and of course take care of them, but still not lose yourself. So if it was hard to a point of losing yourself, then I think you would have to communicate that, and it's okay for you to know that they are not your responsibility. Unfortunately, I know it's hard to even comprehend that, but your family is not your responsibility. Like your mom and her children are not your responsibility, but sometimes it gets to that because of life circumstances, and tomorrow you could be the one who needs help. But I think it's important to have conversations around what you can do and what you can't. That way you do it from a good heart and you are able to live comfortably yourself. What would you do if you have recently graduated, no job, you have experience, tried several applications, no positive feedback? I would, one, accept that this is my reality. If there's one thing that will save you a lot of stress and despair, is accepting your reality. I would accept that this is my reality, and then I would shift my mindset from lack to abundance. I would see myself as someone who is deserving of good job opportunities. I would see myself as someone who can make the money that I want to make. I would see myself as someone who has the job, not someone who doesn't have the job, because that's how you attract. You don't attract from lack, you attract from abundance. So I would think of myself working. I would see myself living a certain way. For me in particular, that's how I've gotten to where I am. I see myself as someone who has that thing, not who doesn't. I won't sit and be like, oh, but I don't have a house, oh my god. I will make the one I have look like my future house, or I would think of myself living in a certain environment. For example, right now I am thinking of moving. I don't have like a big reason for moving because I love the place I live in, but I have been yearning for like some change and maybe just a bigger house so that I can like set up an office and all of that. So I am visualizing myself in the type of house I would love to see myself. So even for you looking for a job, you need to shift your mindset from not having to you being that person that has it, that has the money, has the job, has the colleagues, has the, like, even routine wise, you know what your routine looks like, you know how your life is going to be set up once you have the job. What would you do if your family are least to support you or congratulate you on your wins? just do it for yourself. Congratulate yourself. I think sometimes we expect so much validation and affirmation from the people we love, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's the conditioning we've had growing up, but you realize that not everyone is able to do that for you, because probably they have limiting beliefs of themselves that come in the way of celebrating other people, and they can't comprehend that you've gotten there while they are here. So you just understand that, and that doesn't mean they don't love you. Sometimes it's just a bit of jealousy, sometimes it's reflecting back on things that they should work on, sometimes it shows them their pain points, you know. So don't even overthink it, don't even expect it too much. Just celebrate yourself. If you achieve something, take yourself out, celebrate, journal about it. You will save yourself a lot of disappointment by not expecting your family to support you. Just celebrate yourself and don't expect anyone to celebrate you the way you want. You're the only one who knows how it feels to get those things, and you're the only one who knows the kind of celebration you deserve. So give it to yourself. What would you do if you were to start from scratch at 28? I would start from scratch. As someone who's healing overthinking and overanalyzing things, sometimes just see things for what they are. I need to start from scratch at 28. That's exactly what I need to do. And how does that look like? Does it look like me moving back home? Does it look like me downsizing? Does it look like me finding a new job? Does it look like me moving cities? Fine, that's exactly what I need to do. And once I'm okay with that and I've accepted my reality, then I can now start taking the steps towards the things that I need to do. Again, why the whole age thing? You can start from scratch at 40, start from scratch at 9, and start from scratch at 90. I've seen people do that. It's okay, it's okay, it's just your age. And this is life, and things can happen. Things can happen to me and I would need to start from scratch. Things could happen to Oprah and she would need to start from scratch. So it's okay, very, very okay. What would you do if you are the breadwinner at home and can't live your own life? I would redefine my life. I would choose the kind of life I want to live and then actualize it. Yes, I understand it's not as easy as it sounds, but if I can't live on my own, and if I can't build this life I have for myself, then it's on me. As much as there are all these people involved, I feel like sometimes we are the ones holding ourselves back. I understand it's not easy for you to pick yourself up and then, you know, go live by yourself while you're still providing for these people. And even though life circumstances have gotten you there, I always feel like we are the ones who can get ourselves out of these things, and that would need us to come out of our victim mentality for us to step into these versions of ourselves that are able to solve these problems. So yeah, I would definitely have a plan around it. Maybe, you know, get an extra source of income, communicate my boundaries, and then plan slowly, you know, start building my life slowly and eventually transition into the kind of life I want to live. What would you do if you found out your dad is cheating on your mom and using all money with the other woman? Hey, hi. And using all money with the other woman. I think these are the things you talk to a therapist about before you even figure out who to tell and what to say, because honestly, one, I feel like it's your business, but it's not your business. So I don't know, there's a very thin line between it being your business and it not being your business, especially if you're grown. I think, hey, if I had to communicate this whole thing, I think the first person I would talk to would be my dad, and I would let him know that I know what's happening. I would let him decide course of action. I would be like, you know, I have found out this is happening and it's on you to go tell your wife or just continue doing it, and I would have to tell my mom. So yeah, I think I would first really think about it. Again, I feel like it depends on the kind of relationship you have with your parents, but for me, I think I would tell my dad first that I know what he's doing, and then ask him to tell my mom, and if he can't, then I would tell my mom, and then we would just break our family, because yeah. What would I do in terms of career if there was no social media, but I have other careers, guys. I would continue to write. I'd probably be an author. I'd probably go back to school and be a psychologist. Who knows if I will go back. Maybe. I would continue in my field. I would still be a public health officer. I would still be writing. Yeah, there's very many other things I see myself doing outside of social media. We won't be forever on social media. At some point we will just go off and we will need to have other careers going. What would I do if I was a clinical officer intern and your consultant keeps harassing me during ward rounds? I would communicate. I know it's very hard. I know it's very hard, but I feel like most of these things that we avoid doing cost us really much. I think I would firmly communicate to him or her. I would say something like, "Hi Janice, it's been amazing working with you, but recently you have been harassing me and this and this has happened, or in these ways, and I would appreciate if you stopped doing that." That's it. I think I would communicate that way. Or if there's a senior to Janice, I would probably go and talk about it, not to report her, but just express my discomfort working with Janice. What would you do if you were the last person on earth? I would just dance naked. I would just dance naked. Like, I can't think of anything else to do. Alone on earth, I would just dance naked and wait for my turn to die. What would you do if you got to resume your 8 to 5 job? I wouldn't resume. I wouldn't resume. Guys, I wouldn't resume. In this stage of my life, I don't think I was made for the 9 to 5 environment. I am a creative and I've owned it, and I keep improving that. So I feel like there are very many other things I can do with my creativity before it gets to a point where I need to go to a 9 to 5 job. So I wouldn't resume yet. As of now, I still don't see myself working an 8 to 5. What would I do if I was single and lonely AF? I would fill my life with beautiful things and experiences, and I would make friends, and I would love on myself, and I would give myself the love I am looking from other people. Yeah, and not treating it as waiting for the person to come. I would basically leave because it's out of my control. It's out of my control. So as much as, yes, I understand the lonely feeling, especially Sunday afternoon for singles is very lonely, but find something to do then. Go watch movies, go visit your family. Like me, I always go home on Sundays because, yeah, sometimes you're just seated in the house and you're like, wow, cuddles would slap, you know, watching movies with my partner would slap. That happens. But now do I sit there and sulk? No, I drive home and go laugh with my father. Or go outside for ice cream, or go meet my friends, do sleepovers, go outside for shopping runs and window shopping. You know, I just fill my life with beautiful experiences, and yeah, and I won't feel lonely. Exactly. What would you do if you liked a married man? Leave the married man alone. That's exactly what I would do. Leave the married man alone and continue with life. There's not even an explanation to it. I am just leaving the married man alone. Liking is okay. I am human. I can like anybody. In fact, we even like cockroaches. We even like bees and lizards. We have the capacity to like and love anything and everyone. So it's just that, just leave him alone, not act on it, just leave it alone. What would I do if I was in the middle of the second semester but no longer feels like it's what you want to study in this course? Just drop out. Drop out, do what you want to do, have a conversation with your parents, tell them why you feel like this is not what you wanted to do, and then make peace with that. And if it's possible, then start on something that you think you want to do, because it's better there's this saying, they say if you are on a bus and you realize the bus is going in the wrong direction, you better alight at the first stop instead of waiting to get to the destination and having to book a bus back, right? So I think I would just do that. What would I do if I always felt misunderstood, I would seek to understand myself better and just let people be. No one will ever understand you the way you understand yourself, and they don't have to. In fact, they're not obligated to. So I would just stop with the expectation that they will understand me and just understand myself better, validate myself, affirm myself, and be at peace with that. Yeah, simple. What would I do if I found love after working on myself, but yet again it doesn't work? That's the whole point of working on yourself. The whole point of working on yourself is so that you can survive if things never work again. It's so that you can bring yourself back to yourself if things failed again. Working on yourself and finding love doesn't mean you won't be heartbroken anymore. Getting married today to the most amazing person doesn't mean you will never divorce. It can happen, you know, it can happen. People change and life changes. Those are things that can happen. The whole point of working on yourself is not to find love and keep it, is for you to find love, yes, enjoy it and find the joy and happiness in it, and if one day it ends, you're able to come back to yourself. That's the whole point of working on yourself. Otherwise, if you're working on yourself so that you get lasting connections and nothing ever changes, then you're not doing it right. What would I do if I got 5 million now, right now? 5 million. You guys are not going to see me in this house for a month. I'll first put it somewhere like in an MMF so that it can start making me more money, and then I would get like 1 million and give it to like mom and dad, and then I would give my sister like 500k, I would give my brother like 500k, and then I would have 3 left. I have 3 left. I would take 1 to travel. My first destination would be South Africa. I would go to Johannesburg and go to Cape Town for like 2 weeks and then come back. That's a lot for South Africa. So probably I would also do where else do I want to go? That's like a quick trip to make. I would probably do the Kenyan coast. I would probably go to, yeah, just short mini vacations, and then I would take the 2 million and set up my self-care buns business, and that would be it, and life would continue like it is. I think my relationship with money, I just see money as a tool to experience things and to do things. So yeah, I would make sure mom and dad have their money to like sort out their things and, you know, maybe start like a business of their own, set up my sister, set up my brother, and then enjoy the rest. I am the real definition of you only live once. What would I do if father of my child comes to visit their sick daughter? During the visit, they keep asking for money. When they eventually leave, they take the child's phone and traveling bag without your knowledge. Months later, they say the phone was stolen and now they have a copper phone, which they request you assist in paying. The reason they call is not to know how the child is doing, but asking for money. Babe, I am sorry and I'm going to hold your hands while I say this. It's on you. You need to set boundaries with this man and you need to let him go. You need to set boundaries and you need to let him go. Because there are 1 million reasons in this story that makes it very clear he doesn't like you, he doesn't like the child, he doesn't respect nothing, he doesn't even care. In fact, he has 0.2% care in the world for you. I'm sorry I'm harsh, but yeah, this is on you. Just set boundaries, let him go. If it's a problem, go to child's offices. If it's a problem, take the bastard to court. Just stand on your feet and just let this person go. They're never going to change. They're never going to return all this money that you're spending. Plus, like, in which world are you giving a man money? One, your child is even sick and then carries the baby's bag, and then the phone is stolen, and then now he has another phone that you're paying, and now you're paying for it. Girl, no, just let the person go. Let the person go. What would I do if I became a person with disability? I think this is similar to the infertility one. I think I wouldn't know the feelings I would have around that. I can imagine it would be heartbreaking for sure, but I think it's something that I would have to work through accepting with some help, of course. And I don't know how long it would be, but I think for me I would need to work through it with professional help, because yeah, it's quite heartbreaking, and it's something that I wouldn't even know the feelings of. But yeah, I imagine it would be hard. Oh, and she continued and asked what I would do if I wanted to get kids as a person with disability. I think I would explore my options and see what's there for me, or what's healthy, what my body can take depending on the disability. Yeah, so I think I would take on maybe some research to see medically what's good and what's not, and how does this affect my chances of becoming a parent, how does this affect my fertility, how does this affect my responsibility as a mom. So I would just need to explore my options and talk to professionals about it. That brings us to the end of what would I do if. Thank you guys so much for submitting your entries. It's been a little fun, but some of these stories are kind of, yeah, they're kind of a lot. They're kind of a lot. If these are your situations, genuinely I'm praying for you, and I hope you're able to get through these tough decisions and situations, and I hope you are fine, and I hope that you're taking care of yourself. Yeah, so that's all guys for today's video. I will see you next week with a vlog. Of course, next week we will be back with a vlog. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. Make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you do something little, something tiny this Sunday, whether it's lighting a candle, drinking some tea, journaling on your journal, watching a movie, something nice for yourself. Make sure you do that before the beginning of the week, so that you can feel loved. By who? By yourself. I love you all so much, and I can't wait to see you next week. Bye.